All right, we are recording, so if you want to shut off your camera, you're welcome to. If you want to keep it open, great. Stay muted the whole time, other than when you have a question, please unmute and ask. That just works out really well for keeping the sound of the volume, so barking dogs and that kind of thing. For as much as I love the dogs, that will help out with that for everyone to be able to hear. We are going to be talking about Immersive Reader today. I don't know if we're going to go the whole hour or not. We'll see how it goes. We'll go as long as we need to. Please feel free to ask questions at any point as we're going through. Immersive Reader is great. It just was released in June, so it's not even a full year old, but it is an absolutely great resource or tool to have in your tool belt. And I'm going to show you some really great ways that you can use it. I put the slide deck in so you have access to everything I'm showing you. Use as you see fit. I'm going to present my screen and bring you over to that slide deck, and we'll get started. If you can, I'm going to take attendance. I'm going to do that right now, actually, before I go over. If you can, just drop a quick here in the chat, so that way if I miss it on this meet attendance icon, because it's been a little. It's working, but it's sort of working. So so I'm just going to take that attendance real quick. But if you just throw here in the chat, then I'll know you're here. And as I'm recording, I'm keeping that list up so I can see who's here as well, because I want to make sure you all get credit if you're here. Okay. So while you're doing that, I'm going to hop into Immersive Reader. So I'm super excited about it. So I decided to go full Bitmoji on this one. Because I think Immersive Reader is a massive game changer for equity for our students. I think it really helps students have access to reading and takes away some of that stress of getting through the words for a variety of different reasons. So if you don't know me, and I think by now you all do, but I'm Lori Guion. I'm the assistant coordinator for model schools at Washington, Saratoga, Warren, Hamilton, and Essex BOCES. Which is in Saratoga, New York, for those of you who are not local. But I will tell you that Immersive Reader works in a handful of the things that you see on your screen, and I will show you a full list of the ones it does work in. But Immersive Reader I first learned about through Buncee and Nearpod, so you'll hear me talk about them because I definitely know it best in those, but I'm going to show you how it works in some other ones as well. So what is Immersive Reader? Immersive Reader is a free tool that uses proven techniques to improve reading for people regardless of their age or ability. I took that right from the Microsoft website. So I totally copied and pasted it in because it's a perfect definition for it. Microsoft created this Immersive Reader, and I'm going to share the links out to their website in just a moment. But they decided it was so great, and it really is so great, that they're offering it to other companies to use. It does not work in Google. I will warn you that. You have to use the Google Translate information and all of those kind of things within, or the Google accessibility tools. Use those for Google, but use Immersive Reader for anything else. I heard another ding dong. Let's make sure we let them in. All right, welcome in. Okay, so as we're going through, let's talk about the features. In Immersive Reader, you have audio, which means it will read to you in both a female voice and a male voice, and you can choose the speed. It has grammar functions, and I'm going to show you how those work, where it will show you, it'll break it down into syllables, and it'll break it down by nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. It has some visual enhancements with color changes and font sizes and line focus, and I'm going to show you that. It converts any information that you have typed into over 60 different languages, and it does have a built-in picture dictionary, which is really awesome for your students. Again, from Microsoft, these are the three big things they said it really does, and I've already mentioned them. It improves equity, which really does help your students. It does empower students to be able to read on their own. It gives them a sense of independence. So we're going to show you that. From the Microsoft website, I totally clicked and grabbed this because I thought this was great. And I don't normally put this many words on a slide, but I thought this one was really good. If you look at the features on the left, from the dictation down to read aloud for math and translation, and it gives you the benefit of why it works. You know your students. You know that if something could be read aloud for a student that maybe struggles with the words, that this is really going to be something helpful for them. I wear glasses. I needed glasses my entire life, but I didn't know I needed glasses till I was 18. And I was the one that would have a ruler with me wherever I went, and I'd put the ruler in my textbooks to follow the lines. They jumped on me. I could never follow the lines. And it was really a visual thing for me. I needed glasses. I needed to make the font bigger. So for me, if I had something that would either give me a line focus or allow me to increase the size of the text, it would have made my life really so much easier. And I was an avid reader, but I literally walked around with a ruler wherever I went. And then I discovered that I needed bifocals, and that just changed my life. But these kind of things really can help open it up for some students. Many students may not have persevered like I did through the reading. They might have just said, I can't follow it. This is too hard. But this would allow it to not be hard because it levels the playing field for so many. So you can see, again, it does do the real-time translation. It does help with the syllables. It does the dictation. And the way it speaks, and I'm going to show you that, it sounds just like you and I can talk. So it's a really great feature for your students. So I thought we'd watch a video. You let me know, just unmute if for some reason the sound doesn't work, because sometimes that's an issue for people. Oh, nope, I'm not going to let you see the video because I went right to the next slide. There we go.
The true purpose of education is to create possibility.
It was a little hard for me. People laugh whenever I read sometimes. Well, they knew how to read, and I didn't.
I will never be good at reading. I will probably be held back again.
It highlights the words to know where I am. When it's reading, I see spaces between the words, and it's easier to focus on. The first time I actually could read that book, I was proud of myself. I was very proud of myself. Good job, Joey.
When technology and education come together, possibility becomes reality.
I want to read every book in here.
So I thought that was a good video to kind of show the impact that this feature can have. So we're going to try it out. Wonderopolis, if you don't know Wonderopolis, it's great for your middle school and lower readers. It does a wonder of the day. Students can submit their own wonders and find out about it. So today's, we're just going to go out to today's, which is what is a mangrove. So we're going to click on that one. And anywhere that you see this icon, this little book with the audio feature, it tells you that Immersive Reader is built in. And what it does, if you look through the normal website here, you have the title, you have all these pictures, we have some videos. They already highlight some words, and they've got all this text on the side. And this can be very difficult for students with all this visual noise to kind of read it. And they might go, oh my gosh, this is so long, I can't read this. But if they click on this little listen button, it opens up Immersive Reader. It takes out all the noise. It just keeps the words. All right. And if I click play at the bottom.
What is a mangrove? Have you ever wondered?
And I can speed that and slow it down.
What animals live in mangrove forests?
I can go super fast.
The environment. Our planet is full of amazing habitats.
Or I can change it to a male voice.
You might already know about the animals that live in Challenger Deep. Maybe you've learned about the ecosystem of the Great Barrier Reef.
And you can tell it's pretty much, it sounds just like you would read it to a child. It has that normal inflection that makes it much more pleasant to listen to. And you see that it highlights the word as it goes through. See how it's doing
well.
That?
The topic of today's...
But there's other features to it too. If I click on the little text preference box up at the top here, I can change the text size, which makes my eyes very happy. I can increase and decrease the spacing between the lines so the lines won't jump for me. I can even make it a little smaller, whatever I want to do. I can change it into 3 different fonts at this point, and I can change it to any of these colors. All right, so whatever contrast works for you. Like my son loves the dark background with the light words. I prefer the sepia. Whatever works for you, you can choose to do that. All right, and then you can change it to whatever of these 3 fonts. If I go over to the center one, I can separate it by syllables. And as a former English teacher, that makes me so happy. I can also highlight the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, and the adverbs. And right now I'm showing the labels above each of those words, or I can shut that off. So this could really help your students understand some of the words and how they work based on that. And you can change the colors too. So if you want the adverbs to be, you know, a brown or something like that, you can do that as well. I try to keep the colors different, but you can choose what color they're going to be. I'm going to shut that off so it doesn't look so busy for you. And then I'm going to go over to the reading preferences, which is the book over here. Here, if I turn on the line focus, I can choose it to do one line at a time. So it'll read.
Wonder of the day is also home to many species of wildlife. It's a very...
Or if the student's reading it themselves, they can still scroll between to keep that line focus just on each line. You can change the line focus to be a little bit larger or a little larger, but still take out all the other visual noise around it. So you have the choice of any of those. It does have a picture dictionary built in, so as long as it's on and you click on a word, if the word has a picture, so animals has a picture, then you can see what that word actually kind of means. I'm going to guess mangroves doesn't know, but tree probably does, sure. So you'll see that it has a picture of the word as you're going through, if the word could have a picture. It also will translate into over 60 different languages. So let's say you have a student that speaks Korean. So I can click on a word and it's going to read it in English.
Mangrove.
And in Korean.
mangrove.
All right. If it still has that picture, it's still going to show the picture there too. You're just going to see the English and the Korean. And right now I have it by word, but I can also translate the entire document. So now as I'm going through here, I've got the whole thing written in Korean for my student, and it will read it that way.
맹그로브란 혹시 궁금해 한 적이 맹그로브란 맹그로브 숲에는 어떤 동물이
Now I can still toggle between the English and the Korean by clicking on original or Korean, or I can click on the individual word and it will show me the Korean word, the English word, and the image again. All right. So I'm going to change that. I'm going to put it back on the original so we can see the words. So you have the option of over 60 different languages that are in there. Not all of them read to you. I've run into a couple where, yeah, maybe this one, that it won't see it. It'll be grayed out. It won't actually read it. So not all of them have all of the features, but most of the more traditional ones that you've heard of are in there. Like any of the Spanish are going to have it, that it will read it. So, but those features are being built in. And like I said, this just started in June. So I have a feeling those will continue to be updated as they're available. Any questions on the actual platform? Let me come back in and peek and see if there's any questions that came in. A couple of you said here, great. Oh, we got 10 people in here. Make sure that you click in there to say here, so I can make sure that you get attendance and I can see the picture of everyone here too. Awesome, great.
I have a question.
Sure.
Yep. On the reading levels, do they have like levels?
So not in Immersive Reader. Immersive Reader takes whatever you're using and will read it for the student. Okay. So it's not a level. It's not a leveler, but you can pick something that is of a certain level, and then you know, it'll read that to the student.
Do they do grade levels or no?
No, it's just whatever text you have, it reads it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, because it's not like it's not like it's giving you the articles. If you're talking about Wonderopolis itself, that one I believe I want to say it's like a 3rd or 4th grade level is what they consider all their articles to be for this website in particular. But there's other websites that will narrow that focus for you a little bit more. Good question. All right, so now that we've seen it in action, let's talk a little bit more about it. So we saw it in Wonderopolis, which happens to be one of the places that has it. But these are all of the websites that actually use it right now. This changes often. I did Immersive Reader training about a week and a half ago, and the number was, I want to say I had one less row completely of ones that were on. So more and more are being added all the time. I will be honest with you, and I don't know that all of these websites, I know some of them, but they're definitely not all ones that I use on a regular basis or that I'm totally familiar with. But I am going to show you how it works on some of these different ones that I am familiar with. You might notice that Flipgrid is on the list. Flipgrid is actually owned by Microsoft, so it's, of course, built in there. But I always keep it on the list so people know that it does work within Flipgrid. But I want to show you how it works in Buncee to get started here. So any Buncee that I've created, and you know, it doesn't make a difference which one you create, but any Buncee that I have in here. So let me go to a parent newsletter, for example, and I open up the Buncee. You'll notice at the top, let me put it into, no, I'll keep it here. You'll notice at the top of the Buncee, it has this little book icon. When I click on that, it's going to do the same thing you saw in Wonderopolis. It's going to take everything out, all the other images out, and just give you the words and bring me right back to that platform. So any Buncee that you use, doesn't make a difference whether or not it's, you know, how much or how little words are on it. So this one doesn't have a ton of words on it. Doesn't really matter that it only has a little bit there. As whatever text boxes are on there, when I put it into Immersive Reader, it's going to give me those words. Okay, so it's built into everything within the Buncee platform, 100%. If I go out to Nearpod to show you another one, and I click on, I was playing around with it on this one, and I click on a Nearpod slide. If I've created the slide in Nearpod and turned on Immersive Reader in my settings, it will take the font that you see here. You click on that book icon, it'll bring it right back out to Immersive Reader for you. If you use Google Slides and you send it to Nearpod, it won't read those for you. You have to have typed in the information into a Nearpod for it to work. All right, so that's how it would work in that one. In Flipgrid, just to kind of show you that, when I log in and I go to any of these kind of things and I open one up, for your students, when you're on the student side, it's going to have a button that's on there here that they can turn on and turns it into Immersive Reader. Let's see. In vocabulary, it works just like in Nearpod. As long as you've typed in the words, it'll work there. Jognog is one for your older kids. For the, it's what do you call it? It's like test prep kind of stuff. So if I go in and I pick something, so let's just grab something. All right. See how it has the little Immersive Reader icon? So anything that has an Immersive Reader icon, it will read it to me. So each of them, the key is to look for this little book icon, and then it will work. So any questions? I don't think there's any that I definitely wanted to make sure to show you. It does work within Pear Deck very much like it does in Nearpod. As long as you've typed it in, it's not a flat image, it'll work. Oh, Wakelet. I should show you in Wakelet. Wakelet's neat because Wakelet allows you to curate kind of like a Padlet if you've ever used that. But what's nice about Wakelet is if you drop in an article, so you grab it from anywhere, it will read everything from in the Wakelet for you. So here's the title that I have in my Wakelet, right? Ideas from Seesaw webinars. And this is just information that people have done. But as I hover over, see how there's these this other thing that comes up here, and I see this beta. If I click on that and I click read mode, if it can be read, it will go into it and looks like it. This one doesn't allow it. Let me see if I can grab one that does. Oh, animal research might. So like Pebble Go might be something you use by Capstone. If I click on this beta, if it allows me, it will bring it up here. So right now it's just taking out the visual noise and giving me the information. And then I can click the second button here for Immersive Reader. So it's a 2-click, but it still will do the same thing. So it's reading the information from the Pebble Go website, but it's reading it within Wakelet. So it does help you out with some of your articles. You drop it into a Wakelet and then it will work for you. So you can see that kind of thing there. Let's see if this one would work as well. Just to kind of show you another one. I click in. If it works, it's going to tell me, yep, this one is reading this to me. All right, this article, it kept the pictures, but got rid of all the noise around the side. And then if I need to go even further, I go into the Immersive Reader function and it will read it to me there. So those are some of my favorite ones that it works in. But you may have some other things, I did Nearpod, that it doesn't typically work in, but there is a unofficial Chrome extension that you can get that will make any page readable for some extent. Like I said, it's not a perfect one, it's an unofficial one. But let's say I went out to Newsella. That's a popular one that a lot of people use. And for those of you who said, you know, you want it to have that Lexile score, Newsela is great for that because it will give you the different Lexile score. So if I log into Newsela here, and let's go to this Harry Potter article here. I can change the Lexile to be whatever one I want, right? You can change the Lexile anywhere in here. But let's say I kept it at the max. So I've got all of these words, but I know that there's a lot of students who wouldn't be able to read this at a upper elementary, middle school level. So what I can do is if I have the Immersive Reader, here it is, the Immersive Reader icon, if I have that on my Chrome extensions list on my Chrome bar, what I can do is highlight the text. I right click on it, and then there's a button that says help me read this. When I click on that, it's going to open it up in Immersive Reader and read me the part that I highlighted. All right, so it will work on some websites, not on others. You kind of have to play around with it. Like I said, it doesn't work in anything Google that I found, but it works really great on Newsela, for example, and some other websites that I've played around with. This will do that for your students. So if there's one you're not sure of, try it and see before you push that extension out to students. You know that you can have that on there and it should help. The only ones I haven't found that it works so far have been anything that is Google related. All right, so that is the Chrome extension. So what questions do you have about Immersive Reader? I'm going to come back so I can see you guys. Some of you said here. You guys are super quiet. Is it raining where you guys are? It is absolutely pouring here. I'm like, what is going on? I had to look behind me because it sounded like the trees are going to come through the window. So go ahead and unmute, ask any questions that you might have in regards to Immersive Reader. Because like I said, this is a good topic.
So if you if you went to if you put in Immersive Reader on your Chrome whatever
Extension, yep.
Can you use it, or do you have to go to something else?
So
if I go, let's say that's what I always use is Chrome.
Mm-hmm.
It won't use it at all, correct?
It has to be in Chrome. It's a Chrome extension, so you have to be in Chrome to use it.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep, it's a Chrome extension that stays on there. So what's a website you might take your students to?
Oh, usually I, oh boy, National Geographic.
Perfect one. That's a great one. So I'm going to go to National Geographic. All right. And we're going to go out to there. You probably do the kids one, but I just grabbed this one. All right. So is National Geographic, they warn you like certain ones you can read and certain ones you can't because you're not probably kids, right? I should go to National Geographic Kids you're talking about?
Well, usually when I do stuff, it would be on the smart board, and it might have something from Smithsonian or something. If I'm looking up a particular animal related to something that we've read, then we might do a short video. So
perfect. So I'm here on National Geographic. Let's try it. I have the Chrome extension. So I'm going to highlight this paragraph. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click help me read this. And yep, it went right out for me to be able to read it within Immersive Reader. So it would definitely work on National Geographic Kids. Yep. So that's what your students would do is they would highlight it, and they can even highlight just, a word. Like let's say maybe these few words are tough. They can go to help me read this and it's just going to give them those words. Yeah. So you can do it that way. Yep. That's a good one. What other questions do you have on Immersive Reader? We're good? We're going to do it in a half an hour today?
Lori, I have a question.
Sure.
Do you have to download Immersive Reader off of the Google Chrome store?
Yeah, you'll have to get it as a Chrome extension, which I put the link in the presentation here. So if you click on there, the Chrome store, it's use Immersive Reader on websites unofficial is the name of it in Chrome. And I mean, it has over 100,000 users. It's obviously something that's been going pretty well for people. And like I said, I haven't really run into many sites that it doesn't work. It's not endorsed by Microsoft, which is really funny because if you go to Microsoft, they actually mention it, that it's something that you can do. So even though they're not endorsing it, it's out there too. So it's a great little extension.
Thank you.
Sure. Other questions? All right. Let me drop that slide deck in again for those of you who might have come a little late, because I know I put it at the beginning. It may not have shown up for you. Yep. Perfect. All right. Well, then have a fabulous rest of your day. Stay dry and safe, since it's a massive rainstorm today. No Taco Tuesday maybe today. Maybe we cook in today. Have a great one.